PPF protected as well. This is a super expensive luxury car, yet after just 4,000 miles we're getting this noise from the window. What's that all about? The claimed fuel consumption on this car is 16 miles to the gallon, but I can't verify that because I've looked into the trip computer and I can find no mention or reading for the average economy. It's like Ferrari doesn't actually want to talk about it. However, if we look down here at the fuel gauge, it says we've got about 55% of the tank capacity remaining. The tank capacity is 100 litres, so that 55% will give us 110 miles range. So the car's computer is sort of thinking that it's averaging 2 miles for every litre of fuel, and when you multiply that out to get it into old-fashioned miles per gallon, the reality is this car is averaging 9 miles to the gallon. You can probably afford it if you can afford this car, but it is a bit of an arse having to stop every 200 miles to fill up. And what's even more annoying is, considering you're going to be filling this car up quite a lot, it's a bit of a faff to shut the fuel filler cap. Look. I mean, what is going on here? Finally. Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this.
It's a lot more cool.
The doors on this car are really cool. So the front ones are just normal. Don't get too excited by those. But the rears, look, I love the way you open them. You just flip this little handle there. Then they open automatically and they open backwards, which gives you easier access to just slide yourself in. Look. And then if I press a button up here, you can shut them. Tatty bye. This is the first Ferrari to get hill descent control. Ferrari tries to claim it's not an SUV, but hill descent control kind of undermines that, doesn't it? I think I've just undermined the fact that we're not on a hill at all. For £10,000 extra, you can get a panoramic glass roof, and it has a special shading effect on it. So this is it fully shaded, but if you press a button, you'll see that it goes more transparent. Hello. Also, it's got a special coating as well, a bit like, you know, the goggles that you wear when you're skiing to reduce the amount of heat that comes in from the sun's rays into the cabin. There's electric and hydraulic actuators on each wheel, and they allow the car to control its wheel movements much quicker than in a standard car with adaptive suspension, and that improves the ride and the handling. It also means you can raise and lower the car's ride height quicker than in a car with air suspension, let's say. See, like that, going down. Let's make it go up. There we go. The Puro Sangue is the only Ferrari available with massage seats. Granted, it's a £3,000 option, but you can't get massage seats even as an option on any other Ferrari. Oh, let's just turn it up to max and have a feel. Are they any good? Yeah, you can sort of tell it's Ferrari's first go at this because I can barely feel anything. The Puro Sangue is only available with one engine, but it's an absolute belter. So is the way you actually access it. This front-hinged, huge bonnet, front engine, but you can see the engine is so far back in the car, it's way behind the front axle. It's a 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12 that puts out a whopping 725 horsepower, 716 newton meters of torque. Mainly drives the rear wheels via a prop shaft and an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, but it also has drive coming off the front with a 2-speed gearbox that can send power to the front axle as well. However, once you're beyond 5th gear, the car just reverts to fully rear-wheel drive. But anyway, let's have a little listen to it. Oh, lovely. Right, let's just slow things down a bit now and go for a little drive in this car. I'm actually going to leave the engine program in sport, but I'm going to press the button for the suspension to make it soft. There we go. I could leave it in auto mode like it is now, and it does a good job. I'm going to go in manual because even when I'm going slow, I can then have some fun with the car, just flipping through the gears like that, because the feeling of the pedals is very, very nice. Just the tactility of them just adds an element of involvement to the proceedings. There's a little speed hump. The car feels firm. It feels kind of taut and ready to pounce, but with the suspension in the soft setting, it's not annoying, it's not jarring. Visibility wise, pretty good at the front, and I'm sitting in the lowest position. Big door mirrors, yeah, blind spot here. Issue is the back window. For an SUV, it's not that big, but for a Ferrari, you actually get a really good view out. So, you know, think of it what you will. In terms of the manoeuvrability, well, I'm going to try and do a U-turny thingy here. In fact, I'll do a 360 and we'll see what it's like. Ferrari doesn't quote the turning circle, so I don't know what it's like. We're just going to have to try it for ourselves. So this could cause chaos, but let's find out. Here we go. Can I make it round in this space? Fortunately, we've got low curbs, but do a U-turny thingy here. In fact, I'll do a 360 and we'll see what it's like. Ferrari doesn't quote the turning circle, so I don't know what it's like. We're just going to have to try it for ourselves. So this could cause chaos, but let's find out. Here we go. Can I make it round in this space?
Hold on. Getting it.
Space. Fortunately, we've got low curbs, but so if there were curbs, I'll be scuppered. But will I make it round here? Sort of made it round all right, but I was saved by the low curbs. We do have rear axle steering on this thing, but once again, I don't know the exact way it operates. I'd imagine lower speed, back wheels go in the opposite direction of the fronts to tighten the turning circle, and then at higher speed, go in the same direction to just make the car turn into a corner quicker. It's all very nice, this. Yeah, definitely preferring it in manual. Go auto just for the hell of it. What's the change down when you're coming to a standstill? Sometimes with dual clutch automatic gearboxes, they can be jarring, but this one, yeah, I think Ferrari know what they do with dual clutch automatic gearboxes. Look at that. I mean, that just changed from second to third without me knowing anything about it. But once again, let's go manual. When it did that thing where I can just pull in both pedals and it'll rev up, yeah. Oh, look how quick it revs. Wow. Everyone's looking at me like I'm a knobhead, and they are completely correct. Do you know what? We've gone past quite a few people, and apart from when I was revving the engine, it didn't really turn many heads. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You know, in this black, it's quite stealthy, and while it is a pretty looking car, it's not in your face. I think it's a good thing. Anyway, let's head out of the town now, because this is not the best place to enjoy this Ferrari, even though this is the most enjoyable Ferrari for driving in a location such as this. So it clearly is the most usable Ferrari. Let's just annoy these people with some revs. Dog liked it, pricked his ears up. Even though he was a German dog, he likes the Italian car. Actually, that was very sexist of me. He could have been a bitch. Oh, now there, that's interesting.
Yeah, say that again.
Anyway, let's head out of the town now, because this is not the best place to enjoy this Ferrari, even though this is the most enjoyable Ferrari for driving in a location such as this. So it clearly is the most usable Ferrari. Let's just annoy these people with some revs. Dog liked it, pricked his ears up. Even though he was a German dog, he likes the Italian car. Actually, that was very sexist of me. He could have been a bitch. Oh, now there, that's interesting. When you hit bigger bumps, you do get quite a douche. And there, it can feel a bit lumpy. I do think that the air suspension that you get on something like a Bentley Bentayga Speed does just deal with bumps so much better. If you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, just click on the pop-out banner or follow the QR code on the screen now. Okay, here we go then. Oh, what the Bentley doesn't have is that engine noise. Whoa. It's mad having this engine in an SUV. Sorry, it's not an SUV, but it is an SUV. Oh. And you know what? It feels quite manic. That's quite interesting about it, actually. So you don't have the wallop of torque that you get from like the turbocharged SUVs. Instead, you chase the revs. You actually find yourself going surprisingly quicker than you think, because you've gone through the rev range and you look down at the speedometer and you're like, oh my gosh, that is a lot of speed. Despite the speed though, you know, you go into a corner and it really does just stay completely flat. It's so responsive for an SUV. I think it is the most responsive of all the sporty SUVs I've driven. There's no getting away from the weight though, and the raised driving position and the raised centre of gravity. At some point, it's just going to start pushing wide in a corner. You know, Ferrari quote like just over 2 tons, but that's dry weight. So wet weight with fluids and stuff, you know, it's over 2.1 tons, which is heavy for a Ferrari. It just is. But all these SUVs, they're even heavier. It is a sporty SUV to drive, I do think. Whoa, this thing pulls. And it's so much fun to rev out. There is one complaint, it's that I find the brakes a little bit grabby when you first touch them, but after that the pedal fit is very, very consistent and they're strong.